Melissa Bell. Melissa, the Electoral Commission admits mistakes have been made during today's vote. What more can you tell us?
Well, this is, of course, just the first day of 3 days of voting. It is a long process, this being the largest country in Africa. There's simply a lot to do. These are, of course, the first multi-party elections in nearly a quarter of a century. And so it's perhaps not a great deal of surprise that things didn't go as smoothly as they might have. As you mentioned, many of the heavyweight opposition candidates simply withdrew from the race in the run-up because of those irregularities. And today, going from polling station to polling station, what was clear was that there were many local observers and international observers around. Many of them spoke of irregularities they'd seen on the day. There had been delays in the procedure and some names hadn't appeared on lists where they should have, all sorts of things that didn't go as well as they might have. And today, the main opposition party, the SPLM, which is made up of former rebels in the south and who's the vice president of the whole of Sudan, indeed, is part of the SPLM. He's also the president of southern Sudan. Well, the party's candidate in the north, the man who would have been the main principal rival to Omar al-Bashir and who withdrew, spoke to us today towards the end of polling, and here's what Yasser Arman had to say about how the vote had gone.
There is a chaos and administratively it is a big failure that gave another evidence how the National Election Commission is working this process, and then also it is a cold and elections that born dead. People are not concerned because they know that there is no real competition and it is not going to reflect their will.
Now, just after Yasser Arman gave us that assessment of how the day's voting had gone, his party, the SPLM, called for the vote for the poll to be extended for a further 4 days. There will have been 3 already. They've asked for it to be extended by 4. We'll see how the National Electoral Commission reacts to that. Interesting, though, that it should recognise that mistakes had been made. The other very interesting that Yasser Arman told us today was that he no longer has faith in the procedure, the peace process that you mentioned earlier, Laura, that would see a referendum at the start of next year. He doesn't believe Omar al-Bashir will keep his word, and he believes that far from being on the road to peace, this country is quite firmly back now on the road to war.
All right, Melissa Bell in Khartoum, many thanks indeed for joining us.